What are we even doing out here?
Patience, Rose, you'll see.
Over here will be the site of what will be Ballarat's first vineyard. I bought this whole farm just for that one paddock, past those trees there. One perfect run of soil just for grape growing.
I thought we were out here for a story.
I wanted to surprise you. Ah, Daryl.
G'day, Edward. Good to see you. And who's this lovely young lady?
This is Rose.
Anderson. I work for the Courier.
Pleasure. Can I get the wife to get you a beer or something?
In the boot, there's a picnic basket. You can fetch that.
Kev! Make yourself useful.
Excuse me, miss.
Oh, no, let me help.
I've got it. Better hurry. I think your fella up there's waiting. Yeah, righto.
Dad? Dad! Dad!
You're a dead man, you bastard! Go!
Kevin! Kevin! Oh, Kevin! Oh, thank God. Have you seen your dad anywhere?
No? I thought he was over with Scotty and that crew.
I haven't seen him anywhere.
I'll go grab him.
Daryl! Daryl!
Mum, don't. Mum, don't.
Daryl!
No.
And whereabouts was it? So just after dawn.
Yeah,
And whereabouts did you discover him?
down by the river. The dogs. Followed the dogs.
Charlie. Doc. This is Kevin Fitzpatrick. He found his father, Daryl, about an hour ago.
I am so very sorry for your loss.
He's out here. I'll show you.
It's still loaded.
Right. Gunshot wound to the neck. Brutal. Shotgun, I'd say. Fired at close range. Ned, the son made the discovery and the body was in this position, yes?
Why?
Hold that thought, Charlie. Never seen one quite like it.
The wad hasn't entered the wound, which means there was some separation between him and the shooter.
Yes.
You found it?
By the body. This isn't your first shotgun homicide, is it?
No, my fourth. You?
My third.
So, the wad has exited and fallen as the shot spread.
Yes. I'd say our shooter was only a few yards away when they pulled the trigger.
You can tell by the pellet defects here. Which means the wad injury should be...
Somewhere below the main pellet wounds, yes. Thank you, Alice.
multiple pellet wounds to the neck, shattered clavicle.
Cause of death? Well, goodness me. Catastrophic damage of the neck structures.
Agreed. And this abrasion here from the wad.
Yes. Now, there should be a corresponding mark on his singlet. Alice?
There's blood on the victim's shoes.
Yes.
How is that a surprise?
Well, with a single shotgun blast to a victim facing their killer at close range, they'd be propelled backwards immediately.
Yes, but how'd the blood drip straight down onto the top of Daryl's boots?
Exactly. It's an unexpected sort of pattern.
There's evidence that these fires were started using some sort of accelerant.
Well, it looks like it, if water couldn't put the flames out. I'll go back and see if Mrs. Fitzpatrick's ready to answer some questions.
Good. We find out who started these fires on his farm. We find out who killed Daryl Fitzpatrick.
Thought that might be of interest. From archives.
Kevin Fitzpatrick went to the Melbourne Olympics?
The men's trap and a 300-metre rifle. Quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Definitely. Edward? You and Daryl Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry, is all I was going to say.
He was a business associate, Rose. But thank you for your concern. Was there anything else?
I'll go interview the neighbours, maybe try calling the Australian Olympic Federation.
Great minds.
No sign of Kevin or his mum.
Right. Charlie, there's a circular shape here that obviously must have been covered by the body. And there's more blood here.
From our killer, maybe. Perhaps Daryl caught him with a shot.
Possibly. Either way, we need to have this tested.
And when my Jack was very young, he was convinced that it went, Noel, Noel, Barney's the king of Israel. We'd be sitting in here for midnight mass and he'd be rifling through the Bible trying to find him. Eventually he marched straight up to Father Morton demanding to know, where's King Barney?
Father put him straight.
Oh, my word, he did.
He was always such a headstrong little boy, your Jack.
Ah, he still is. What about your Sue? How are the preparations going for the wedding?
She spoke to Father yesterday. They'll be married here next year. Oh. You know, my mother was married here. So was I. And now so will my little girl.
I think we were all married here, weren't we?
Yes. Yes, we were.
Doc, this is Lionel Taylor. He owns the property next door.
Ah, Dr. Lucian Blake, good to meet you. You were here this morning, weren't you, Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, I was. Came back to check how bad the damage was.
Right. Smells like sunfoil, yes?
They're going to have to rip this whole lot. Contamination's only going to get worse once it's weathered in.
Did Daryl ever have any enemies that you know of?
Daryl was a mate, but he had a habit of rubbing people up the wrong way. This new paddock here being a prime example. He bought it a few months back.
Do you know who sold him the land?
I should. It was me. Should have charged him more. Had a couple of offers. After I sold it, Darryl did all right out of me.
Mr. Taylor, Lionel, who made these other offers?
A couple of businessmen. That Italian greengrocer in town.
Senti, lasciami stare, la voglio una foto per te.
Non vedi che c'è sangue?
Vieni bene per te, per favore.
La verità, hai fatto arrabbiare qualcuno. Guarda questo macello, è una vergogna.
Ma raccogli everything all right here, sir?
Immagini cosa pensi.
Some bloody bastard just attacked my shop.
I'm Dr. Lucian Blake. How do you do?
Angelo Colonna.
Pleasure. Perhaps I should take a look at that for you, Angelo.
No, it's nothing.
How did this happen?
I tried to stop a stander from falling and...
Did you recognize the man who did it?
No, I never seen him before in my life. He just to show up here, he called my wife horrible names and then start to break things.
I see. This person that you've never met before.
Sì, yes.
Amor, per favore. Senti qui, dottore. Era lui, era quello Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick.
State zitta.
Kevin Fitzpatrick? Excuse me, Kevin Fitzpatrick? Mr. Colonna, where were you last night?
Home, with my wife and children. A casa. Diceci che era a casa.
Era a casa. È a casa, sì, a casa.
See, yes. And there's no reason that you can think of as to why Kevin would just show up here out of the blue.
I cut it last night at the fire. Must have opened up again.
I see. When you attacked Angelo Colonna, perhaps.
Why go after the greengrocer, Kevin?
Why do you reckon? He did it.
Because
he's been making trouble for Dad for years. And when you front them, all of a sudden they act all innocent, like they can't understand you. Just makes you want to bloody throttle them. Look, if this is about that shop,
it's the least of your problems, son. Turns out you're quite a shot.
Mum taught me.
The Olympics 4 years ago. What about Rome?
Didn't make it, did I? What does any of this have to do with Dad?
Kevin, I need to confirm whether you or anyone else in the family owns a shotgun.
It's the country. Every farmer worth his salt owns a shotgun. What? I already told you it was Colonna.
Angelo Colonna doesn't have a police record. Whereas you have been pretty busy for the past 6 months. Multiple offences. Most recently, this. Reports of a brawl on your farm called in by a concerned neighbour between you and your father.
What was the fight about, Kevin?
None of your business.
That cut on his leg could explain the second patch of blood we found at the scene.
Yes. I've sent that sample to Alice to separate the blood from the soil. Check Kevin's medical records, see if we get a match.
Right, there's your warrant. Head back to Fitzpatrick's farm. Need you to search inside, top and bottom. Find me a shotgun. Take Ned with you.
Oh, we can't, boss. He's in West Wendouree somewhere. Reports of a lost dog.
Right, just you then, and call it in on the radio if you need any help.
Right.
Bill's still in Melbourne testifying at the police corruption inquiry.
There won't be a single policeman who hasn't given evidence by the time they're done.
Simmons is due in there after Christmas.
Ned? Really? Why?
A while back, he was seconded to a station in Melbourne, suspected of taking money under the table. Perfect time to be a man down, isn't it?
Quite. Ah, Matthew, before I forget, this wad, it's quite distinctive.
You want to see who might have sold these things locally? Go on, then.
Just a second.
Mr. Baker, I thought... I didn't know you actually worked here in the store.
I don't. I'm closing down.
Right. Well, I was wondering if someone might help me identify what kind of shotgun shell this comes from, and if, in fact, you sell this particular brand.
No.
No to which part exactly?
No to the part where you bring evidence from a murder investigation into my store and expect me to help you.
I never said this was from a murder investigation.
You're the police surgeon. The paper said a farmer was shot to death last night. I'm assuming that's from the shell that killed Darryl Fitzpatrick.
Did you know him?
No.
You're quite sure about that?
If you have any more questions for me, Dr. Blake, I suggest you go and find a police officer and bring him back here. Until then, get out of my store.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick, this might be easier if you wait outside for a while.
Easier still if you tell me what it is you're looking for.
Your husband appears to have been killed with a shotgun.
And you think the gun might be here?
You do own a shotgun, don't you?
Fine. Here, anything else?
I'll still need to complete my search.
Fine.
Excuse me.
Yes, I do know Kevin Fitzpatrick. The boy was going to be a dual Olympian.
And I'm guessing that drew the attention of Tynerman Sports.
God's sake.
Patrick, please, I need to know. Did the Fitzpatricks approach you about sponsoring Kevin for Rome? It's ever so important.
Point of fact, they didn't approach me. I approached him, young Kevin.
And?
And he refused. Said he wouldn't go even if he had the money himself.
What was Bill Hobart's evidence? Is there anything else I should know about? Lucian Blake? Are you sure? Can you double-check that for me? I'm gonna have to call you back. The police corruption inquiry. They're calling up officers from Ballarat now. Nothing much from today's testimony.
Stay on it. What else?
Still waiting on an official statement on the Fitzpatrick murder.
We can wait till the afternoon edition tomorrow. Rose, I was thinking you might like to have dinner tonight.
Edward, thank you. I have plans to meet someone. It's been arranged for ages, actually.
Oh. Who, if you don't mind me asking?
Charlie Davis.
I see. So just bad timing, then. Fair enough.
Really?
Of course. You have a good night, Rose.
I will. You too.
Sump oil?
Yes. That's the accelerant our arsonist used. Thank you.
It's hardly the best choice.
Good point.
If it was me, I'd use something much more flammable.
You've missed a spot.
Hmm?
Oh, thank you, Matthew. I mean, I'd only use sump oil if I wanted to, I don't know, spoil the land or...
Well, the neighbour, in fact, said the Fitzpatricks would have to strip the topsoil to get rid of the contamination.
That'd be Lionel Taylor.
Yes. You know him?
Yes, he was a friend of Christopher's. He moved here fresh out of university. Christopher taught him all about farming. He's a very fast learner. Now, do you mind, Lucien?
Ah, yes, of course. Isn't she lovely?
No one really spoke to him when he first moved in.
Because?
Oh, I think they thought he was city, trying to be country.
Oh, that old chestnut.
His wife was a bit of a cold fish, but I always really liked Lionel. He was such a hard worker and very intelligent. In fact, I think he was probably the smartest man I'd ever met.
Is that so?
Well, up until that point, anyway. Dinner's almost ready.
Smartest man should ever met, hey?
And I'd thank you, Matthew, not to encourage him quite so much.
Ready? Matthew?
Ah. Lovely.
I don't understand. How did you hear about it? From a contact that I have in the Melbourne court system. And he said that a divorce hearing for Lucy and Radcliffe Blake was scheduled for a month's time on the grounds of drunkenness and cruelty. Does anyone else know about this? I wanted to make sure that you both knew. Well, I'll be talking to Lucien just as soon as he gets home. Thank you, Rose.
Why wouldn't she just tell me their shotgun was broken?
That's what we're here to find out.
She's not going to be happy with Kevin still in the lockup.
At this point, Charlie, I think we'll get more from the mother than we will from the son.
Oh, bloody! I told you lot. You can all go to hell. I'm not scared of you.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick! This is the police!
Get off my land!
Eileen, it's Dr. Blake. I'm here with Senior Sergeant Davis.
Put the rifle down and come out, please.
You're here to lock me up too, are you?
No, not at all, Eileen. We just want to talk with you, that's all. Isn't that right, Charlie?
That's right.
You better come in then.
Bloody hell.
Thank you.
For heaven's sake, Eileen, who did you think we were?
Edward Tyneman. He was here last night. He ripped up the contract that he and Darryl signed. Had a new one, offering much less.
Of course he did.
And when I didn't sign it, he said he was going to send someone back to renegotiate the terms.
You should have reported him.
While you're holding Kevin in lockup for no reason.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick, I need to do one last search of the property, if you'll excuse me.
Eileen, from everything I've heard, Kevin was never in any sort of trouble until about 6 months ago.
Doctor, if there's nothing else...
Let me... It's all right. It's all right. I was just... Eileen.
Goodbye, Doctor.
What on earth were you thinking? This is a police station, not a pet shop.
I'm sorry, boss. He's lame. Both the vets are away. There's been a suspected outbreak of foot and mouth in Chiltern.
We're saying we're short-staffed.
Oh, very funny.
I left Charlie at the farm. Cuppa?
Yes, he's called for a divvy van to go and pick him up. What's that?
Oh, Eileen's medical records from the hospital. A series of unexplained injuries over the last 20 years. And in fact, only recently, she was admitted with badly bruised kidneys.
So her husband was abusing her?
I'd say so.
Well, it speaks to motive. Kevin did say that she was the one who taught him how to shoot.
Yes. Speaking of shooting, Matthew, your cane, would you mind if I, Thank you. Now, according to these, she suffered severe damage to her rotator cuff 4 years ago. Now, She could barely aim a rifle at us today.
She did what?
Anyhow, my point is this. If she couldn't even lift a rifle to her shoulder, how on earth would she have handled the kick from a shotgun?
Well, maybe from that range it was shoot from the hip and hope for the best.
Well.
Boss, Doc, I've got something I think you should see. I found it in the long grass in a gully between Darryl and Lionel's properties. Sump oil. And then there's this.
Ah. Ooh. Dried blood. And these holes, I'm thinking pellets from a shotgun shell.
So Darryl wasn't shot standing up. He was leaning against this.
Yeah. I'm going to interview Lionel Taylor.
Oh, take him with you, would you? Simmons, I mean, not the dog. We're still waiting on bloods from Dr. Harvey, aren't we? Any chance we could speed things up?
Yes, I'll see what I can do.
What exactly are you suggesting, Sergeant?
I'm just saying that the barrel looks like it contains sump oil. It was found on your fence line and it was stained with blood.
So, in your mind, the only possible explanation is that I set the fires and I killed Darryl. Should I just confess now, then?
Well, you could. It'd save us a lot of time.
No, the barrel's not mine. And I don't even own a shotgun. If you want to search the farm, you're absolutely welcome to.
Everything all right, Lionel?
It's fine, Kev. We'll be back in an hour, 2 tops. Shall we?
Please.
Giù. Non è una meraviglia cosa faccia mio marito. Non è mai dentro casa, è sempre qui fuori. Più ordinato qui fuori che dentro, hai capito? Guarda che meraviglia, guarda. Amo, il dottore c'è. Esci, dai.
Doctor.
Ah, Angela, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
I trust I'm not interrupting anything.
No. I was just tasting the latest batch of my wine.
Ah.
Would you like to help?
E dai.
It'd be rude not to, eh?
Bravo. Vieni.
Prego, dottore.
Grazie. Supremo. Angela, where did you learn to make wine?
The family business. My papa, nonno, you know.
Yes, family business. I know a thing or two about it. My father, Thomas, was a doctor too.
Ah, here in Ballarat.
See.
My wife, she liked Dr. Spencer.
Yes, Spencer. He's a good doctor.
He's a sleepy old man with little eyes, like a mole. But she used to him now. Tradition, and these things are very important, to her at least. Capisci?
Yes, I understand.
You know, I have some homemade grappa as well, if you like to taste some.
Grappa, you say? All right.
Bravo. This one here, they're gonna put Italian hairs on your chest.
Here's hoping.
Salute.
Salute. Mmm.
It's good, huh?
Yes.
This is why I tried to buy the land from Darryl, to make my own wine like home in Italy. Eh? When I find my land, you'll be my best customer.
Guaranteed. Angelo, the night Darryl died, you said you were nowhere near the fires on his property.
See, I already told the police this.
Yes. I notice your fences, garden stakes, all coated with sump oil. Protect them from termites and the like. Thing is, someone set that fire using sump oil. And the police have found a barrel, a drum, with traces of sump oil in it. The same kind that you used to display your stock at the fruit shop.
Dal confessore, medico e avvocato, non si può nascondere la bugia. You know what this means? You cannot hide the truth from a priest, doctor,
or lawyer.
He said he'd sell. He took our deposit, and then he sell to somebody else, and he keep our money. Even after we got the lawyer onto him. See, yes, I burned his land with the oil. I drove away, the barrel fell off the back of the truck. But I never hurt Daryl.
Even after he shot at you?
No. Daryl was a bastard. He hit his wife, he cheated his workers, he lied to me, he lied to my business partner, he lied to everyone. He deserved everything he got, Doctor.
Hang on a moment, Angelo. You have a business partner?
See.
Who? Oh! My apologies, yes. G'day. Look at you. Well, you'll be happy to know I've discovered who set those fires. Yes, I have.
Have you just?
Yes. Angelo Colonna. He's our man. Everything all right?
You haven't seen this afternoon's edition, I'm guessing? The Commissioner's office hasn't called yet, but they will.
How dare he? Edward bloody Tynan again. He had no right to print this, Matthew. No right!
Just calm down.
I am calm.
You're drunk now, aren't you? Oh, for God's sake, Lucian, do you have any idea how badly this reflects not just on me, but every other officer in this station?
I've had a few drinks. What of it? I'm the one who found out Angelo set those fires.
I'm trying to work out a way of containing the damage from this.
And that Norman Baker...
Go home, Blake!
That Baker was his business partner all along!
That's enough!
I accomplish more drunk than you and your entire bloody department do sober.
Get out of my station. Go and sober up! Go on!
Why would you do this? It isn't even news. It's trashy gossip at best.
Maybe, but it'll sell papers.
With my name attached to the story.
That'll be all, Miss Sanderson.
You gave me this byline out of spite because I chose Charlie over you.
You let your feelings get in the way of a job that I pay you to do. Again. You know, I thought you were ready. My mistake. It's one I don't intend on making again. Goodbye, Miss Anderson.
You can't fire me for that!
It's funny, I thought I just did. Ah! Doctor, listen, if you hit...
That was your last warning.
You have no idea.
You ever print another word about my family, I will come back here and finish what I started. Do you understand me?
Lucian.
Jean. Oh, thank God, Jean.
Rose, why would you?
Jean, you don't understand. I
thought we were friends.
You should know, Mr. Baker, we're currently holding Angelo Colonna in the cells.
And?
And we'll be speaking with him once we're finished with you.
What's your relationship with Mr. Colonna?
He's a business partner. That's it.
You were working together to buy that farm from Daryl Fitzpatrick.
Angelo and I paid Daryl a down payment on that land a while back, yes.
But he didn't end up selling them to you. And he didn't return your money.
No, we hadn't got our money back.
Do you know of Angelo's plans to set the fire?
Of course not. Besides, you know what these new Australians are like.
So why did you partner up with one?
Angelo knows wine. I know business.
We checked with these solicitors, Mr. Baker. They've confirmed they sent the letter on your behalf to Daryl Fitzpatrick threatening legal action.
Yes.
And that a week before Daryl was killed, well, you suddenly told them to cease proceedings.
I assume at some stage you're going to get round to asking me a question, yes?
All right. Where were you on the night that Daryl Fitzpatrick was murdered, Mr. Baker?
Blake, we missed you at the police station this afternoon.
I'm sure you did. Shall we just get to the point?
Please.
I think you put Angelo Colonna up to setting those fires.
I understand he confessed.
Doesn't mean you weren't there that night too. You lied about not knowing the victim, you had motive. We still don't have a murder weapon and you own a gun shop. I think you timed all of this to coincide with closing up and leaving town.
The police have searched my store. They've questioned me. So I'll tell you exactly what I told them. I was in a room at O'Connell's boarding house the night before last. They've checked my alibi.
You really expect me to believe you're here just to collect some stock? And what about your deposit on that farm? Why would you stop pursuing it
Because it doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to pay my final respects to my daughter, and then I'm leaving.
Norman, your daughter Jessie died over 10 years ago. I remember you telling me that yourself.
Not Jessie. Anna. The one you helped to put into prison. She took her own life.
No. I had no idea.
Were you drunk then too? The day that you had her arrested?
No. I was doing my job, Norman. I am so sorry.
Now you're sorry. But in the moment, it's not about justice for you, is it? It's all about you being right. Jessie was 8 years old when she died. That was the worst thing that had ever happened to me in my life. But she went quickly. My Anna. I watched her gradually lose herself in that place that you put her. I watched my daughter die by inches, Doctor. So you tell me, is it worth it? Is it always being right? No, I don't care about the deposit on the farm. I'm gonna load up my truck, and then I'm gonna head off. And with any luck, I'll never see you or this town ever again. You're on the way out.
Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned.
What is it you wanted to confess?
I don't know. It's not really a confession, I just don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to lie to myself or to God. But how is it that the Church sees me and Lucian marrying as a sin? How is that fair and right in the eyes of God?
But you're not married, are you? Not yet. And nothing has been done that can't be undone, has it?
No.
Jean, it's all right. Whatever you're thinking, God will understand.
know.
I think everyone in town knows by now. Lucien, I thought we agreed to wait until Maylin responded.
We did.
Then why did you ignore me? Because you know best, and I'm still just the housekeeper, is that it?
No. No, of course not.
Lucien, you don't need to protect me. I've managed perfectly well on my own for a long time before you came along.
Yes, I know. Jean, please forgive me. I am so sorry. I've been a bloody fool. And I understand, given everything I've put you through, if you've changed your mind about us, about everything.
Good night. Of course, Mrs. Dunn. I'll let him know. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Everything all right with Mrs. Dunn?
It's our 4th cancellation for the day. Looks like you'll be free to work all day on the Fitzpatrick case.
Right. Well, this all looks lovely. Thank you, Jean. Charlie? Anything new on any of our suspects?
Well, there is one thing that's been bothering me about Lionel Taylor.
What about him?
There's rumours that Lionel's wife hated Eileen with a passion, perhaps with very good reason.
Oh, sounds to me like people making things up just to have something to talk about.
No. Rose visited all the neighbours. She heard the same thing.
Well, Rose is very good at her job.
Jean, Rose didn't write that article. And Edward Tyneman fired her because she wouldn't tell him what she knew.
Is that right? In that case, I owe her an apology.
Well, we both do.
It can wait, Doc. She'll understand.
All right, Charlie. Just getting back to Darryl, if I may. We know that before he sold his farm, he acquired that one paddock from Lionel.
Yeah, which he got from his mate for well under market value.
Yes. Think about this. He loses his most valuable piece of land for next to nothing.
Yeah. It'd be a pretty strong motive.
The Lionel I knew was never particularly money-hungry.
No, just extraordinarily intelligent, if memory serves. He and Jean were friends, apparently, a long time ago.
Really?
He was friends with my late husband. He's trying to make it sound salacious on purpose.
Oh,
You think that Kevin is Lionel's son, based on what?
Based on Darwin, mostly. The man, not the place. He theorised that certain facial expressions are innate and not learned.
Mr. Darwin have any theories on drinking?
Kevin and Lionel, there's a particular thing they both do facially when they're angry or stressed. They sort of bite down on their bottom lip.
And you actually agree with this?
That ties into what the neighbours said about the tension between Eileen and Lionel's deceased wife.
What if Lionel and Eileen were madly in love all this time? And really, Darryl was the only obstacle preventing them from being together.
We've been married for nearly 30 years. Do you think I was just out there throwing myself at other men all that time?
No. I think you're in a loveless marriage with someone who had no qualms about using his fists on you.
I had my suspicions about what Darryl was doing.
You had your suspicions. And when was that? When he broke a wrist, a nose, when he irreparably damaged a shoulder?
It wasn't my
perhaps?
place to step in.
No, I suppose not. Because you'd already intervened in the Fitzpatrick's marriage, hadn't you?
Lionel was from the city. He was gentle in all the ways that Daryl wasn't.
Which is why you're in love with him.
That's never what it was.
My wife, she loathed the country. She hated me for making her come here. There were years there we barely even spoke. And I was lonely. Eileen was smart and tough. She was so beautiful. She chose me. We were only together once or twice, but it's a long time ago.
And one of those times led to Kevin.
Does he know?
I would never have left Daryl. He loved me, no matter what you think.
Well, he had a funny way of showing it.
Yes, we fought. And yes, when the pain was bad, I wished horrible things on him. But the good outweighed the bad. And aside from Daryl, God, and myself, I don't see that that's anybody else's business.
Lionel, you've never stopped loving Eileen, have you?
Doesn't matter though, does it? It never did.
I see. All right, Alice, thank you.
And she still wouldn't leave him?
Nope.
Well, that second blood sample from the murder scene, still no definitive result. Matthew, you right?
Simmons and his bloody lame dog.
I'll move it for you. Oh, hang on a moment.
I don't understand it. Some of the red cells look enlarged for some...
Oh,
bless you.
I brought a visitor with me.
You're right. There's definitely a slug in there. Possibly a 22.
Yes. The reason you couldn't identify that blood sample...
I think it's from our furry friend over there. So where did the slug come from? Can you repeat that?
Oh, yes. Just as I thought.
Faint traces of oil and grease. Not characteristic of a shotgun pellet, I'd have thought.
No. It's from a different gun entirely.
Eileen?
Ah, Lionel. Look at these two, aren't they just wonderful? Eileen, how many dogs do you own?
3, but one's done a runner.
Yes. Frightened off the night Daryl was killed.
Yes, but how do you know?
You called the neighbours from Lionel's house, didn't you?
While you were on the phone, Lionel here raced out the door on his way to the farm. You didn't make it in time to see Angelo driving away, but you did see someone, didn't you? You saw Kevin. You saw Kevin shoot his father, or at least the man he believed to be his father. He thought he could save you, Eileen, from the anger, from the abuse, and he shot Daryl. With this. The slug went through Daryl's neck, and believe it or not, hit your poor dog.
You said Daryl was killed by a shotgun, not a rifle.
A shotgun, yes. Lionel's shotgun. You found Daryl, already dying. You knew your son would go to prison. So you propped Daryl up against the drum, and you disguised the wound to his neck in the most brutal way possible.
Kevin didn't do anything. It was me. I did.
Lionel Taylor, I'm arresting you for the murder of Daryl Fitzpatrick. Anything you say...
When did you know, Kevin, that you hadn't killed him?
When I saw him, I knew straight away that wasn't a wound from the 22. She was never going to leave him. No matter what he did. Can I ask a favour, Doc?
Yes.
Will you check on her every once in a while? Make sure she's all right?
Of course I will.
I wish we'd just let it all burn.
You know you don't have to knock.
You worked it out.
Yes. Thanks to Constable Ned Simmons and his stray dog.
This arrived today from Aileen. Agreeing to do whatever it takes to ensure that the divorce process is as private and as discreet as possible.
I should have listened to you, of course. It shouldn't have to be like this.
But it is. And I'm not sure there was ever going to be any easy options for us, Lucian.
No. I love you, you know that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Your drink, Chief Superintendent.
It's just Mr. Monroe now, sis.
Are you here for business or pleasure, sir?
A bit of both, I think.
I hurt people, and I don't realise it till the damage is done.
Thanks for the ride.
How are you even allowed back into that station?